Stepdaughter bragged to her friends that I'm too weak to stop her from using my credit cards. "You're nobody to us," I reported the fraud, locked the accounts, and watched her get declined at the mall. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reddit Visuals. I used to believe that if you stayed calm, paid the bills, and kept the peace, people would eventually respect you. Turns out some people don't see kindness as strength at all. They see it as a weakness to exploit. I'm 44 years old. I work in logistics management, nothing flashy, but it's stable. Good benefits, predictable hours, decent salary. I'm the kind of guy who pays bills 2 weeks early, keeps every receipt organized in folders, and avoids conflict like it's a disease. My first marriage ended quietly, no drama, no kids. We just grew apart. When I met Karen 3 years ago, she seemed like everything I'd been missing. Warm, funny, affectionate. She had a 15-year-old daughter named Lily from a previous relationship. Lily's biological father had been in and out of her life since she was a toddler, mostly out. Child support was sporadic at best. Karen was honest with me from day one. She told me Lily had abandonment issues, didn't handle change well, and had a problem with any man trying to step into a father role. I respected that. I told Karen I wasn't trying to replace anyone. I just wanted to be a stable, supportive adult in the house. Someone Lily could count on, even if she never called me Dad. We moved in together after dating for 8 months. I bought a house with enough space for everyone. Lily got the bigger bedroom with the walk-in closet. I paid for the furniture, the decorations, everything she wanted. I thought it would help her feel secure. Instead, it set a precedent I didn't see coming. For the first year and a half, I stayed in my lane. I paid for groceries, utilities, car insurance, and family vacations to places Lily wanted to go. I didn't discipline her. I didn't check her homework. I didn't comment when she came home past curfew or when her friends were loud at 2 a.m. I figured trust and respect would come with time if I just proved I was reliable. Instead, what came was indifference. Lily tolerated me. That's the most accurate word. She'd answer my questions with one-word responses, roll her eyes when I stayed in the living room too long, and exclusively called me by my first name, Mark, even after Karen gently suggested that maybe stepdad would feel more appropriate. Karen always had an excuse ready. She's just a teenager, Mark. She's testing boundaries, that's normal. Give her time, she'll come around. And because I loved Karen, because I wanted this blended family to work, I believed her. The problems started small, so small I almost missed them. One evening about 6 months ago, I was reviewing my credit card statement like I do every month, and I noticed a charge that didn't make sense. $217 at a boutique clothing store in a mall I hadn't been to in over a year. I figured it was fraud, called the bank immediately, and they told me the card had been physically swiped with the chip and PIN. That confused me. Nobody had my PIN except Karen, and she had her own card. When I asked her about it that night, she got this look on her face, half guilty, half defensive. "Oh, that. Yeah, Lily borrowed it. I meant to tell you, she needed an outfit for some party her friend was throwing. Borrowed it. Without asking me. Without even telling me afterward." I felt this weird knot in my stomach, but I swallowed it. I told myself it wasn't worth starting a fight over. Karen promised she'd talk to Lily about asking first. I said okay, and let it go. That was my first mistake, letting it go. Because once they knew I wouldn't push back, the floodgates opened. Over the next few months, the charges started appearing regularly. $30 here for food delivery, $60 there at a makeup store, $15 rideshare trips across town, streaming service subscriptions I didn't recognize. All of it is small enough that if you weren't paying close attention, you'd miss it in the noise of everyday spending. But I pay attention. That's who I am. I finally sat Karen down one night after Lily had gone to bed and showed her the statements. I'd highlighted everything I knew wasn't mine, over $800 in 3 months. I asked her as calmly as I could to please talk to Lily about this, because it was getting out of hand. Karen sighed like I was bothering her with something trivial. "Mark, you can afford it. Do we really need to make everything a big deal? She's a kid. Kids need things." I tried to explain that it wasn't about the money. It was about respect, about asking permission, about basic boundaries. Karen just shook her head. "You're being rigid. This is what family does. They share." That conversation changed something in me. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just a quiet shift, like a door closing somewhere deep inside. Because it wasn't about the money. It was about being erased, about my contributions being so expected, so invisible, that taking from me without asking wasn't even considered wrong. The moment everything crystallized happened on a Saturday afternoon about 2 months ago. Lily had 3 of her friends over. They were in the kitchen making snacks, laughing, playing music too loud. I was out in the garage organizing my tools, trying to stay out of their way like I always did. The kitchen window was open because it was warm outside and sound carries. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. I just heard my name and froze. One of Lily's friends said something I couldn't quite catch, and then Lily's voice came through crystal clear. Please, he's not even my real dad. He's too weak to stop me anyway. I've been using his cards for months. Another friend laughed and said, Wait, seriously? Doesn't he notice? Lily's response is burned into my brain. He notices. He just doesn't do anything about it. My mom told him to chill, and he did. He's basically nobody to us. Just a wallet. Nobody to us. Just a wallet. I've never been punched in the face, but I imagine it feels something like that. That hollow, breathless shock. I stood there in my own garage, holding a wrench, listening to a 17-year-old girl dismiss my entire existence while her friends laughed. I didn't storm inside. I didn't yell. I didn't confront anyone. I very carefully put down the wrench, closed the garage door, and sat down on a folding chair in the corner. I sat there for maybe 20 minutes, just breathing, letting the embarrassment turn into something colder. Clarity. That night, after everyone went to bed, I didn't sleep. I went into my office, pulled up every credit card statement from the past year, and started documenting. I highlighted every single unauthorized charge. Every rideshare, every food delivery, every clothing purchase, every subscription, it came to just over $2,000. $2,000 taken without permission, without gratitude, without even the basic decency of asking. I took screenshots of everything. I organized it by date. Then I called my bank's fraud hotline. The representative was professional and thorough. I explained that there had been unauthorized use of my card by someone in my household, that I had not given permission, and that I wanted to report it as fraud. She asked clarifying questions. I answered honestly. Yes, I knew who had used it. No, I had not given consent. No, they did not have authorization to use my accounts. She told me they would freeze the card immediately, issue a new number, and start a fraud investigation. She also mentioned that if the charges were verified as unauthorized, they could potentially pursue criminal charges depending on the amount. I told her I understood and wanted to proceed. She froze both of my credit cards on the spot. I didn't tell Karen. I didn't tell Lily. I wanted reality to be the teacher this time, not me. The next morning was a Saturday. Lily came downstairs around 11, hair perfect, makeup done, wearing an outfit that probably cost more than my work boots. She announced she was going to the mall with her friends, grabbed her purse, and walked out without a word to me. She never said goodbye. She never had. Karen was running errands. I was alone in the house. I didn't go anywhere. I cleaned the kitchen. I did laundry that wasn't even mine. I waited. Around 1:30 in the afternoon, Karen's phone rang. She'd just gotten home, was putting groceries away. She answered on speaker without thinking, probably expecting a quick question. Instead, Lily's voice came through the phone like a siren, not crying, screaming. Mom, my card got declined, all of them. I tried 3 times. This is so embarrassing. Everyone is staring at me. Karen's face went pale. She looked at me across the kitchen. I kept folding towels. Didn't say a word. Lily wasn't done. The cashier asked if the card was stolen. Someone behind me in line laughed. There are people I go to school with here, Mom. Fix this, right now. Karen covered the phone with her hand and whispered urgently, Mark, what did you do? I looked up calmly and said, I reported fraud to my bank. Her eyes went wide. She uncovered the phone. Lily had heard me. There was a beat of silence, then pure rage. You did what? You had no right. Those are my cards. I took the phone from Karen. My voice was steady. No, Lily, they're my cards, my accounts, my money. You've been committing fraud for months. The bank has frozen everything and opened an investigation. She hung up on me. Lily came home an hour later, her face blotchy and red. She slammed the front door so hard that a picture frame fell off the wall. She didn't look at me, just went straight to her room. Karen followed her. I could hear muffled arguing through the walls. Karen came back down 30 minutes later looking exhausted. Was that really necessary, Mark? You humiliated her in public. I asked her if she'd talked to Lily about stealing from me, as I'd asked months ago. She didn't answer. I told her that humiliation wasn't my goal, but consequences were. Karen's face hardened. You're being vindictive. I shook my head. I'm being a person who deserves basic respect. The fallout came faster than I expected. 2 days later, Karen got an email from the bank requesting her to clarify her involvement in recurring unauthorized transactions on my account. Suddenly, this wasn't just about a declined card at the mall. This was about a formal fraud investigation with potential legal consequences. Karen panicked. She asked me to call it off, to tell the bank it was a misunderstanding. I refused. I told her Lily needed to understand that actions have consequences, and so did she for enabling it. Then the social fallout hit, and it was brutal. Apparently, one of Lily's friends had recorded her meltdown at the mall on their phone. Not the whole thing, just a snippet of Lily yelling at the cashier, saying something about her stepdad ruining her life. That girl posted it on TikTok as a joke with a caption like, "When your credit card princess life ends." It got traction, fast. Other kids from Lily's school saw it, recognized her, and the comments rolled in. Isn't that the girl who stole her stepdad's cards? Imagine getting caught committing fraud at the mall. Her face when it declined, though. Lily's school called 3 days after the mall incident. Apparently, the video had spread enough that other students were talking about it in class, and it was becoming a distraction. The principal wanted to make sure there were no bullying issues. Karen was mortified. She blamed me. She said if I hadn't reported the cards, none of this would have happened. I asked her if she'd prefer I just keep letting our daughter steal from me. She didn't have an answer. That night, Lily finally came out of her room. Her eyes were red and swollen, her jaw tight with anger. She stood in the kitchen doorway and said, "I hope you're happy now, Mark. Everyone at school thinks I'm a criminal. I can't even show my face without people whispering. Are you proud of yourself?" I put down the dish I was washing and turned to face her. "Lily, you committed fraud. That's not an opinion. That's a legal fact. I didn't make that video. I didn't post it. I didn't spread it. Your actions had consequences, and those consequences became public. That's not my fault." She laughed, bitter and cold. "You think you taught me some big lesson? All you did was prove you're nothing. My mom doesn't even need you. Nobody does." That word again, nobody. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I just nodded and said, "Okay." Then I went to my office and started making changes. Real ones. I removed myself from every shared account. I moved my direct deposit to a new bank account that only I had access to. I called the phone company and removed Lily's line from my plan. It would be shut off in 48 hours. I canceled every streaming service, every subscription that I paid for that she used. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, all of it. I transferred my portion of the mortgage payment to a separate account and told Karen she'd need to cover her half from now on. When Karen realized what was happening, she came into my office, her voice shaking. "Mark, what are you doing?" I looked at her calmly. "I'm nobody, remember? Nobodies don't pay for other people's lifestyles. From now on, I pay for myself. You and Lily figure out the rest." She started crying, asking if I was really going to punish her for Lily's mistakes. I told her I wasn't punishing anyone. I was just removing myself from a situation where I wasn't valued. She asked if we could fix this, go to therapy, work it out. I said maybe, but not until real accountability happened. The next week was chaos. Bills came due that Karen couldn't cover alone. Her paycheck as a part-time administrative assistant wasn't enough to handle everything. Lily's phone got shut off. She had a breakdown when she couldn't text her friends or check social media. She begged Karen to fix it. Karen told her to ask me. Lily refused. 3 days later, she swallowed her pride and knocked on my office door. No sarcasm, no attitude, just a quiet, "Can I talk to you?" I let her in. She sat down, fidgeting with her hands, and said she didn't realize how much I actually did for the household, that she thought money just appeared, that bills just got paid automatically. She said she didn't think using the cards was a big deal because I never said no to anything. I listened without interrupting. When she finished, I told her something she clearly wasn't expecting. Lily, you didn't embarrass me at the mall. You embarrassed yourself when you decided I didn't deserve respect. I didn't ruin your reputation. I just stopped protecting you from the consequences of your own choices. She cried. Real tears, not manipulative ones. She asked what she could do to fix it. I told her she could start by getting a job and paying back what she'd stolen. She said the bank was already making her do that through chargebacks, and there were fees involved. I told her, good, that's accountability. She asked if I'd ever forgive her. I said maybe, but forgiveness doesn't erase consequences. 2 weeks later, Lily got a job at a local coffee shop. Minimum wage, weekend shifts. She started paying back the charges in installments. Not because I demanded it, but because the bank did. Her biological father never returned her calls. He never did. Karen started picking up extra shifts. The house got quieter. Meals were tense. But slowly, Lily started saying good morning. Started asking if I needed anything from the store when she went. Small things, baby steps. I didn't enjoy watching her card get declined. I didn't smile when her phone got shut off. I didn't feel powerful or victorious. I felt tired. But sometimes, the only way people learn the weight of your presence is by feeling its absence. Sometimes kindness without boundaries isn't kindness at all. It's just permission to be used. So now I'm asking you, was I wrong for reporting the fraud, locking the accounts, and letting reality teach the lesson? Or would you have done the same thing? Drop a comment and tell me what you would have done in my place. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to Reddit Visuals. It really helps the channel grow, and we've got more stories like this coming your way.